Hello. My name is Natalie Jobity, the host and creator of the Power Shift Summit, Women Igniting Change and Shaping the Future. If you have listened to my intro video, you know I am beyond ecstatic to bring the Power Shift Summit to you. It is one of the many manifestations on the call of my life to help women everywhere transform lives, communities, organizations, companies, and so much more. We're at such a momentous moment in time where women's voices are being amplified more and more. We are on the brink of possible first female and woman of color president in the United States. So huge, a gigantic power shift, right? So I want to start off with sharing a personal testimony that I'm walking out right now in my life. It's about becoming the force we're meant to be, a concept I first heard about when I attended Sarah Jakes Roberts' Power Moves book tour experience earlier this year. If you're a woman of faith, you want to get that book, Power Moves. It's a gold mine. The idea of being a force grabbed me and has not left me since. I firmly believe we are each a force to be reckoned with according to our unique divine design. We have a reason why we were put on this earth, and it's way bigger than us. When we embody our most powerful expression, nothing can stop us. If you read my latest book, It's Your Time to Shine, Girl, you'll know how much of my journey I shared about being a very tall, awkward young woman who wanted to be literally invisible. Seriously. I lacked confidence, had low self-esteem. I sought external validation all the time. I people pleased, and I played really, really small for such a long time. I struggled with all the P's: perfectionism, people pleasing, proving, performing, just to feel accepted and worthy. I just didn't understand for so long that I had to believe in my own worthiness first. Thankfully, I've continuously invested in my own personal growth and development since my late 20s. I've read a ton of books on personal development and spiritual growth, and have consistently had the support of various therapists over those decades. I've done a lot of inner work, y'all, and this has helped me overcome many of those challenges. But even as I've evolved over those years, and with all I've accomplished as a leadership and executive coach for women, keynote speaker, best-selling author, entrepreneur, mentor, all the things, I still face challenges. I still struggle with believing I'm equipped to fulfill certain assignments brought to me. I still sometimes have to go in my head back to back with my imposter, my negative Nelly, as I call her. And I know I still have aspects of my life where I feel powerless. And I know you can relate. But I flash back to over a couple of decades ago, and I remember what a feeling like a force felt like. I want to share with you an experience I wrote about in my first book, From Peak to Fabulous, Flaunting It, about that. It was that time when I had a first glimmer of the power that resided in me. So I was just beginning to understand the power of my presence at that time, because I struggled a lot again with being tall and just standing out, right? So I was taking all these yoga classes, and there's a core pose that is a foundation of many standing yoga poses called Tadasana, also known as the mountain pose. At first blush, it might seem like a really simple pose that you're just standing straight and tall, but it's so much more than that. So here I am as a yoga student. I found myself resisting this pose and not understanding why it was so hard for me to just stand tall and strong. I just felt so exposed and vulnerable in that pose, and it made me so uncomfortable. I had to fight the urge to cower inward every time I had to do it in my class. So one year while I was on vacation in the Caribbean, I'm from Trinidad and Tobago, by the way, I decided to practice walking in Tadasana on the beach, because I love the beach. I love the water. Everything about the ocean relaxes me. So there I was. Back then, I had an iPod. So you see how long ago that is. My iPod in the earphones in my ear, listen to my music, walking up and down the stretch of beach in practicing my Tadasana. It was just for fun at first. I was just walking up and down and then, just feeling the groove. I even found myself sashaying to the music and the rhythm of the waves as they broke on the shore. At some point, though, something magical started to happen. Suddenly, I found myself walking faster and faster and faster. And with each stride, I could literally feel myself inching taller and taller towards the clear blue sky from inside of me. I started to feel my own power. I was in full strut mode on that beach, y'all. And in that moment, I knew I was unstoppable. Everything around me became a blur, and all I became aware of was my exquisite presence, power, and strength out there on that beach. And to be real, I felt as if I could just walk on the water like Jesus did. Literally. I felt like I just had to go and step in that water and walk on the waves. It was an incredible and unforgettable experience. I mean, I've never forgotten it. It has forever changed my understanding of the inner strength that always resides within us all. So from that moment on, I was no longer scared to stand in mountain pose, to embrace my full height and stature as the mountain that I am. I finally got it, y'all. Standing in Tadasana isn't just about good posture. It's about owning your own power and feeling your strength as the universe supports you. It is about being open and present and conscious to the magnificence that resides in you. It is about being fearless. It's about having the presence of a mountain, anchored, grounded, steady, unstoppable. That was the first time I remember feeling that force energy. When I think back about that experience on the beach in Barbados so long ago, I can remember the feeling to this day. But what puzzles me is, why don't I get that feeling about that potency in my power more often? It's like a fleeting rush I get every so often, and it takes my breath away when I feel it. But I wish I could stay in that moment so much longer, you know? So a few years, I had another experience that allowed me to access my power in a different way. I was participating in a short course about the seasons and their archetypes led by the wonderful Joanna Lindenbaum, who is one of my featured speakers on this Powership Summit. And the archetype that really caught my attention was the autumn archetype of the sovereign. Oh my God. So I had paired up with this other colleague to visualize what our sovereigns are like. And it was a very, very powerful experience. It was like maybe 10, 15 minutes long in overall. But in those few minutes, I had a very clear visual of my sovereign sitting in a high back chair on a mountain with a long red dress, flowers in my hair, and in a posture of complete serenity, fulfillment, humility, and gratitude. She had done the work she was called to do, and she was able to sit back and humbly take in the legacy that she'd left behind. And it was vast. I felt how she felt in my visioning exercise. It was a feeling I hadn't quite felt before, a mixture of confidence, gratitude, generosity, fulfillment, wisdom, and power. All those attributes combined together made me feel a very powerful energy in a very positive way. After I had that experience, whenever I needed to give myself that confidence boost, I would just say, Natalie, what would your sovereign do? What would she think? Who would she be right now? And I would just go, my mind, body, spirit would go right back into that embodiment of her. This is one of the ways I harness my power today. And it is so potent. But what I'm relearning recently is also being more mindful to access the power I felt on that beach so many years ago. An unstoppable force-like power. Hearing that talk by Sarah Jakes Roberts earlier this year, maybe finally put a pin on that memory. Now I understand that it's a new destination I'm headed with being a force for the highest good of all, by the way. I wrote my book, It's Your Time to Shine, Girl, in 2022. And when I wrote that book, I had a clarion call for women all over the world to know it was our time to rise, speak, shine, stand out, and be the change we wanted to see in our sphere of influence. I felt it so strongly, a movement, a shift in the ethos that was just waiting for a core group of us to take the lead. And while there was definitely evidence documented in my book about us rising and shining worldwide, we hadn't quite flipped the script the way I had envisioned it. I am a visionary empath with strong intuitive gifts. I felt it then, and I feel the energy of women rising up even more today. But perhaps it's just taken us all longer to manifest this truth, because we all can use that little nudge, that gentle push, that infusion, right? So as I was planning the theme for my summit this past summer, I knew I wanted to be hugely impactful and transformative, because that's the heart of my why with what I do. And those themes I just mentioned about women and power, leadership, flipping the script, all came together for me. I knew that this event I created would be a catalyst for women in a more forceful way than them reading my book, watching my YouTube videos, or checking out my LinkedIn posts, which I write a lot about, by the way. Because it would not just be my voice amplifying these themes and topics. No, it would be a collective of us, a diverse group of powerhouse women coming together to bring these themes to the forefront. And something tells me, y'all, the timing is precisely right now, the divine right timing. I am so proud and thrilled to present the Power Shift Summit experience to you, because like I've shared, I continue to experience shifts in my own power from my experiences that leave me changed. And this is what I want for you. So my intention for the Power Shift Summit is that it will empower every woman participating to ignite her journey towards greater impact and fulfillment. That by stepping into an experience with a community of powerhouse women who are breaking barriers, amplifying their impact, making a difference in their sphere of influence, you will be inspired and illuminated to take your next aligned steps. Here are some few key outcomes for you. No more holding back or playing small. No more dimming your lights and silencing your voice. No more looking into the shadows, not taking up space. Discovering what true power means to you and how you can wield yours wisely. Being strengthened and inspired to fulfill the divine call on your life. Being empowered to step into your unique, unparalleled type of leadership in exactly the way that's right for you. And walking away with actionable tools and strategies to enhance your leadership presence and expand your influence. Listen, your transformation is waiting for you, and I hope and pray this summit will be your ignition. So let's transition into what I want you to learn from my presentation today, called Your Power Playbook, Awaken the Power Within You. So get a pen and paper handy, because you'll be reflecting on a few things as I walk through this presentation. We may want to pause the recording right now to get those if you need that, okay? So before we get started, I want to break down a few important points about being empowered and power and what it means. So power doesn't come from a person, position, platform, or promotion, you know, my P's. It comes from within. When we say the word empowerment, this means the power, the right, or authority to do something. I see it as having power and control over your own life. Even as an empowerer, I cannot use my inner power to give another person theirs. But what I can do is help them activate their own power from the inside. And that's one of my goals for you today. Power is not something to be feared or shied away, but rather to be seen as a tool, a resource that can be used to effect positive change and create opportunities. It is always about power with, not power over others. The latter is the old way of doing things, and we want to shift that game to power with. Embracing power involves dismantling the notion that power is inherently negative or something to be feared, because so many women have negative associations about power, and that's why they shy away from it. Instead, you can think of power and reframe it. Learn to use it responsibly, compassionately, and with integrity, right? Your personal power is a positive force that can be used to effect change and create opportunities. Just see that for yourself. When you are empowered and you tap into your personal power, you have more capacity to overcome imposter syndrome, self-doubt, fear, and other limitations. And you can advocate for your own interests, set healthy boundaries, and take charge of your destiny. Learning to purposely tap into your personal power is a muscle, ladies. It's a muscle that needs to be strengthened through intentional practice. You can't just say, I'm powerful and go out there and be powerful. No, you need to keep at it, work it, take small steps. Like any muscle, it requires consistency and nurturing and practice. Practice, practice, practice. So my goal today with this presentation is to activate yours and to invite you to find ways to integrate power into your professional life. So take a moment and reflect for a couple of minutes. When do you feel most powerful? And what does that look like for you? And who are you being in those moments? So you might want to pause recording again right now and just reflect on those in your journal or your piece of paper, whatever you're using. To help you with those questions, I want to share with you a powerful metaphor about how we can wield our power, something I recently wrote about actually on my LinkedIn. So recently, one of my clients, she's had so many interactions actually and situations and crises around water, which led us to realize that she's actually going through it again because with the storms and the hurricanes going on right now in the US, there's a lot of different things in different parts of the country. Thankfully, she's not in harm and her home is fine, but she is experiencing all her property being like drained and drenched with water from all the rain that's been falling. And that she knows that water is another signal from God that she is to embody the properties of water even more. Because in the 3 years I've been working with her, waters in the beginning kept coming up. In her other property, she would have leaks, she would have all kind of water issues. And we both knew that, okay, this is a sign. And here it came back again, a year later from what the last time she went through it. And it's another sign. And all along, we have known that for her, it's about what about water can she more embody? Because water is a force. We have that same force inside of us, but do we even recognize it? Do you know that your body is made up of 60%, more than 60% of water? Water expresses its power in so many ways. What is in the form of an ice cube, a stream, a droplet, a waterfall, a whirlpool, the ocean. Water is permeable. It's in momentum. It's shape-shifting. It's agile, unstoppable, undeterred. It always finds a way to flow. It could be gushing, unbound, vast, expansive. You could come up with your own words about what water means to you. So think about it. Because so much of this force is inside of us, how much of it are you actually embodying? If you were to connect more with the water force in you, who would you be? My client said, after we had an exchange recently, that she'll be moving forward in full throttle, those are exact words, and be the force she's designed to be, despite all the repercussions of the flooding around her land that has stalled many of her business projects. Because she is that force. She has that, what I call forceness in her that she's ready to fully embody in this season of her life. It connects to so many of the themes that Sarah Jakes Robert writes about in her book, Power Moves. So I ask you to consider, how can you fully embody the properties of water inside of you to channel the innate power you possess? Note I said innate because it is inside of you every day throughout your whole life. Because in that power is where you will make the impact and create the legacy destined for you to create. Take those nuggets in. Okay, so now I'm going to share with you briefly, because I know I have so much I want to share, but I only have so much time. I have these 4 Power Playbook pillars I've curated, and I just love it. I'm a alliteration girl. If you know me, you know that's what I do. And a lot of P's. So this one is actually not P's, it's A's. So it's around your authority, your agency, your autonomy, and your audacity. Yeah. Okay, let's get into that. So let's talk about authority for a second. Authority is typically granted or assigned power to make decisions, give directives, enforce rules. It comes with positional power or status. A lot of it in our career, we know about that kind of authority, right? It's associated with roles and titles of positions where a person has the right to influence others' actions and behaviors, whether they're employees, team members, co-workers, etc., right? Authority is about being in a position of influence where others recognize and respect your decision-making capacity. It often comes with responsibility and accountability. Think of it as an external construct given by an organization, society, or group. A female leader with authority commands respect, influences others through her expertise, experience, and confidence in her point of view and thought leadership. So let's be clear now. Your authority is not based on a desire for control or power, but rather on your ability to inspire and guide others towards shared goals. So here's another reflection question. How does your authority show up in your life? You might want to pause again there and write that down. It's a brief synopsis of authority. We're going to get into autonomy now. Autonomy. Autonomy refers to the capacity to self-govern and make decisions independently. Autonomy, right? It's about that freedom to make choices without interference from others. A leader with autonomy is self-directed, possesses confidence to trust her own instincts and her judgment. It involves control over our own circumstances without external pressures or constraints. A woman with authority doesn't shy away from taking calculated risks or exploring new opportunities or approaches. She is free to be herself authentically. So here's another synopsis about autonomy. It is in our hands. Despite the real threats to our autonomy at work and in our lives, especially regarding reproductive rights in the US, we must cultivate an attitude that continues to lean into our preferences, our perspectives, and position so we can be in the best environment to bring our brilliance forward autonomously. Consider again another question for you. How do you act with autonomy, and where do you feel most free to be your true self? I'm going to pause again and reflect on that one. Let's get into agency. Agency is active in nature and involves a sense of empowerment to bring about change or achieve desired outcomes. And while autonomy is about freedom to choose, agency is about acting on that freedom. I mean, you must have agency to act on your autonomy. When a woman has autonomy, she has the freedom to choose her path, but when she has agency, she's empowered to act on those choices. See the difference? They're both important, but they're different, right? Agency is the personal power to act with intentionality, to take initiative, drive change, and shape outcomes. It is self-determined and reflects a woman's capacity to shape her own life or environment. So it's so much about freedom to act on your own behalf. A female leader with agency is proactive, assertive in pursuing her goals and objectives. A female leader with agency is not content with the status quo and actively seeks opportunities to make a positive impact. She is willing to challenge existing norms, self-empowered to navigate barriers, and advocate for change when needed. Agency is so huge, as you can tell. So again, taking a moment, what motivates you to take aligned action to manifest your deepest desires? And how do you garner the will to take initiatives and drive change? So you may want to pause and write that one, your answers to that one down. The last one, my favorite, is audacity. I have to say it like that. It's like audacity. It's a catalyst for all of the above: agency, authority, and autonomy, because it pushes women to actively step into their power rather than wait for external validation or permission. Audacity is boldness. It's the courage to take risks, again, challenging the status quo and pursuing goals that might seem unreachable or even impossible. A woman with audacity steps into a power with a sense of fearlessness that amplifies her ability to lead, act, and live on her own terms. I see audacity like that tiger, like, roar. It's one of my things, yo. I love tigers. So here are things about an audacious woman. She is courageous, isn't afraid to step into unfamiliar territories or spaces. She faces these challenges head on, knowing that growth lies outside the comfort zone. Take that one in. She is confident, because you got to be confident if you're going to be audacious. She has a deep belief in her abilities, and this confidence allows her to claim what's hers without seeking external permission. She tends to be a visionary. She thinks beyond the present and dares to dream big. Her audacity gives her the ability to envision possibilities where others see obstacles. The ability to see possibility where others see obstacles. She's authentic. That's one of my core values. So it'll always be anything I speak about, because I believe you can be so many things and authentic. So you can be audaciously authentic, meaning unapologetically true to yourself, embracing your uniqueness as a strength. So audacity isn't about fitting in, but it's about standing out and standing firm in your values. It's about, here I am, take me or leave me, kind of a energy, right? And I see, this is all my perspective, I see audacity as disruptive, challenging norms, pushing boundaries. A disruptive, audacious woman doesn't accept that this is the way things always have been done. No. They seek out opportunities to innovate or improve systems, structures, all the old ways of doing things, right? So here's the question. Do you see yourself as audacious? Does this word make you feel uncomfortable? And if so, why? Just be honest with yourself. And think about what story is playing in your mind that associates being audacious with something negative. I want to pause again and reflect, because that's a big one right there. Big reflection point. Here's how it all comes together. When a woman can harness her agency, authority, and autonomy with audacity, she's a force. She's a disruptor, a change agent, and a game changer. So how do we get to harness all this innate power inside of us? That is the heart of what we're doing here today. Let me introduce you to your sovereign. It all ties together, y'all. Like I shared in my story earlier, we all have that sovereign within us, an aspect of ourselves that is so powerful. Think of women like Oprah. Oh my God, the soon-to-be President Kamala Harris, or the Taylor Swifts or Beyoncé's, the Tina Turners, the Melinda French Gates, and the late Queen Elizabeth, actually a literal queen, a sovereign, with a worldwide audience. When she passed away in her funeral, she had a worldwide audience estimated in the billions, possibly the most watched broadcast in history. Wow. And apparently there's some data that says 500 kings, queens, and presidents and other heads of state came to pay tribute to this woman, Queen Elizabeth II. Wow. These are examples of women embracing their sovereign energy with their persona and their way of being and impact that they have made on countless lives. Unfortunately, though, for many of us, our sovereign is hidden in plain sight. Yep. And when we haven't fully embraced our sovereign, here's how we may show up. We aren't fully empowered. We play small or play it safe. We may be stuck in self-doubt and insecurity. We are an echo, not a voice, because we sound like everybody else. We find it harder, if not impossible, to move forward in our mission. We take misaligned actions. We feel cut off from our brilliance. We aren't aware of our many gifts. We feel like our power is taken or like we have given it up. So here's another big truth for many women. Listen to this one. What can be more frightening than being powerless is the fear of actually being powerful. Yeah, because being powerful has consequences that can be so scary, like greater responsibility, more visibility, more scrutiny, more backlash on judgment. And those things are real. The fear of powerful women is real. This, I believe, is a huge reason why we lean towards being powerless or letting others take our power away from us. Another one of the reasons why you may feel powerless is because you may struggle with believing you possess power at all, because you've never experienced it yet. Here's how you get to recognize your sovereign self. I'm going to read a few of her attributes. I have a long list, but I can't get to all of it, but I'll read a few key ones. As I read each, take note of the ones that resonate with you the most and write them down, because this is really important. So a sovereign. She owns her brilliance and feels satisfaction in knowing that when she sits on her metaphorical throne, it is not higher or lower than anyone else's. The sovereign knows that taking up space is a gift and that when she takes up her rightful space, it provides more space for others. A sovereign shines without any shame or self-judgment. A sovereign is self-aware and always in a process of evolution and elevation because she knows the greater her capacity to serve, the greater her impact. A sovereign understands her wisdom and trusts it. She knows that what she knows. She doesn't second guess, doesn't doubt, or feel insecure about her knowing. A sovereign is secure knowing that there are other queens in the realms, and she's just thrilled by that. She's not subject to competing or comparing like a lot of women are. The sovereign fully takes up space. She does not dim her light to make others comfortable and is not attached to how folks perceive her. She inspires others with her presence. She embraces the power in her presence. She shows up magnificently and fully in all the spaces. She knows her essence, her secret sauce, superpowers, sizzle, and strengths. She is unapologetic and confident. She lives aligned with her values. She has a squad of support around her. The sovereign feels secure knowing that there are other sovereigns around her. She feels fully free to be autonomously herself. And some sovereigns gonna have that disruptive posture because they're here to change the playing field for the collective good. And I have to admit, I love a disruptor. I call myself a quiet disruptor. So those are some of the attributes of the sovereign. And as I read all of those, again, reflection questions here. What aspects of the sovereign archetype resonated with you the most and why? And when you imagine this woman, to what extent do you feel like this is your embodiment of your personal power on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being not so much and 10 being, yes, that feels like me. Or that is me, actually. And the third question, where are the gaps between you and her? So I want to go through another part here that is really, so here, if you're listening to this or watching this when you're doing something or driving or whatever, you're going to want to pause because it's going to be, you're going to need to be closing your eyes so you can't be driving. I want to walk you through a visualization exercise that I've done before that is really powerful to give you some sense of your inner sovereign so you can tap into that vibration more to become the force you're meant to be. So only continue on if you're in a safe space, safe, quiet space where you have like 10 minutes to do this, okay? If not, you want to pause and come back to this because this is, you want to really make sure you get to this and to the end of what we're going to do today. All right. Okay, so give yourself the gift of your full presence. Settle in your chair and be as comfortable as possible. And if you're comfortable, start fluttering your eyes till they come to a close. You're going to be taking a few deep breaths. Find it and start to tune into your inhale and exhale. And as you inhale, allow yourself to open up inside and receive. And as you exhale, release and let go. Whatever stress, whatever you need to let go, just let it go. And do this a few more times. You're going to inhale, feel your chest expanding. And as you exhale, sigh out, let go, release, relax. Feel your body constricting as the air comes out of your lungs. Repeat this for at least 2 more times. Inhale. Count of 4, exhale. Count of 4. Feeling your body relax more and more with each cycle. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Count to 4. And exhale. Begin to visualize a space that resonates really strongly with you. Could be a beautiful garden, a serene mountaintop, an elegant boardroom, a beautiful canopy vista, any environment that empowers you. Take a moment to immerse yourself in this setting and notice the details and the atmosphere. What are you seeing around you? What are you feeling, hearing, smelling? Let all your senses come alive in this environment. Now imagine yourself in that space, standing tall and radiating confidence. Just feeling like you can soar like an eagle in the sky. Feel the ground beneath your feet on the earth, connecting you to that energy and grounding your power as you stand in this space, and embody a posture of strength, poise, and self-assurance. Just feel into the power that already resides within you. Take note of how you've shown up. What are you wearing? What colors, jewelry, and accessories adorn you? What's your vibe right now? Now take a seat. Think of this as a throne, whatever that looks like for you. It can be any kind of throne or seat. Just make sure you feel fully comfortable and confident as you sit in it. Take note of the throne. You choose the color, the material, the size, the design, and how you're sitting in it. Take note of that. Now envision a symbol that represents your sovereignty and inner authority. This symbol could be anything you choose: a flower, a crown, a scepter, a light, anything that resonates with you personally. See this symbol appearing in your hand or adorning your being, signifying your innate power. Look at it closely, the colors, the texture, the design. Note how it's feeling in your hands. Take a few moments to channel the energy the symbol gives you. Now take a deep breath and invite the energy of the sovereign to flow through you as you sit on your metaphorical seat or throne. Think of all the descriptors I mentioned earlier, the ones that resonated most to you. Feel and embody those attributes as much as you can. Feel the surge of confidence, wisdom, and grace as you embrace your unique expression of sovereignty. Embody the qualities and attributes that empower you, that resonate with your vision of a sovereign. Allow yourself to explore the possibilities and potential that come with embracing your sovereign power. Envision how this inner power you are experiencing can positively impact you in your life, career, business, relationships, and personal growth. What does that look like? Take a few moments to bask in this, fully embracing and embodying your sovereign power. Allow the feelings of confidence, strength, and power to wash over you, reaffirming your beliefs in your own abilities and potential. Think of how your sovereign shows her authority, agency, autonomy with audacity. Now, I want you to ask your sovereign a question before you depart and listen to her answer very carefully. The question is that you're asking her is, what do you want me to know about my personal power? Listen to a response coming from the place in your body where your wisdom resides. Don't overthink it, just receive it. When you've received it, you want to thank your sovereign for her time, support, and wisdom. You're going to say goodbye and part your ways with her for a while until you come back another time. So wave goodbye. Look at the environment you're in again. Take everything in. Start focusing on your breath again, inhaling and exhaling 3 times. Inhaling to the count of 4. Exhaling to the count of 4. Do it 3 more times. Last time, inhale. Exhale to the count of 4. When you're ready, slowly bring your awareness back to the present moment. Take a deep sigh, wiggle your fingers and toes, and now open your eyes. Wow. I hope that was a really powerful experience for you. So now you want to get your pen and paper again and journal on a few questions. You may want to pause the recording if you need to, but I have a few important questions for you to reflect on from this exercise, okay? The first one is, how did the visualization exercise make you feel? What emotions or sensations did you experience during the process? What aspects of your sovereign resonated with you the most, and why do you think they had that impact? Reflect on the symbol of power and authority you envisioned during the exercise. What does this symbol represent to you personally, and how does it align with your aspirations in your professional life? Number 4, when your sovereign spoke to you, and what message did she have for you about your personal power? That's a big one. And then finally, how can you embody the qualities of a sovereign in your daily interactions at work or in your business more powerfully? I would love to hear your takeaways about all these. Please feel free to share them via email by replying to any of my daily emails during the summit. I would love to get your takeaways from this. And I will select 2 lucky women to get a free gift, my beautiful affirmation card deck. The images are all behind me, a few of them. If you love them, check them out on the link in the event schedule page. I'll share the most powerful takeaways in an email that I get from those of you who share them in my email messages. So now I'm excited to share that I have 2 free gifts for everyone tuning in. Every speaker has a free gift, and I'm a speaker in my own event. So I have 2 gifts. The first one, I'm so excited for this one. It's a 90-minute masterclass on Thursday, November 7th at 2 p.m. called Leading from Your Sovereignty, Embracing Your Most Potent Power Professionally. Now, if you just went through what we just did in this whole presentation, you know how passionate I am around this theme. we're going to go even deeper and wider, especially honing into how it relates to your professional endeavors. So we're going to have you embody and embrace your force of power in service to your mission professionally, whether it's your career or business. And if you loved everything that I presented here today, you're going to want to sign up for this one. This will be a powerful presentation that will leave you ignited and enlightened and ready to step more powerfully, importantly, into your purpose. Okay? PPP. So mark your calendar and copy the Zoom link right here on my page where you're listening to this. Thursday, November 7th at 2 p.m. Actually, you don't have to sign up because you just have to book it on your calendar and put the link right in there. You want to try to be live if you can, because this is where you'll get to be in the presence of other amazing women, which in itself will empower you even more. I will have a replay available for a short time if you can't make it. All right, so that's my first gift. My second gift is an invitation to apply for a one-on-one Power Shift activation session. Power Shift activation session for 5 lucky women. The link to apply is on my speaker page right below. Again, you'll see it on my page. If you want a deep dive experience to activate from what we've done today, from the masterclass, or just in general, you want to apply. In this session, we'll come together to develop a plan for how you will move forward with your shifted power, the power shift, so you can make your divinely designed impact in your sphere of influence. If you're feeling my passion for this team right now, be assured you will receive even more with the live webinar and for this one-on-one activation session. All right? So, oh my gosh, wow. I can't believe I got through all that in an hour or less. I mean, it was a lot, y'all. But I promise you that I have experienced my own expansion and elevation from participating in the amazing interviews and presentations from the 21 speakers in the Power Shift Summit. I'm telling you, you want to listen to as many of these as you can. I mean, they're so, so good. You will not leave this summit experience unchanged. So many gems are dropped that you're going to want to replay many of these over and over again, because it's not just listening and going, okay, cute or fun or great. It's like listening, taking in, integrating, embodying, and that takes time. So sit back and enjoy this incredible experience that will give you the power shift that you need. Ah, blessings, blessings, love, and light. Thank you for tuning in. Bye for now.